Let's move on with UNBLINDED.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning to you and everybody.
How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
This is Michael Crouch.
Hey, dude. Pete
Who's
here.
that? Who's that?
This is Pete Romano here.
Oh, hey, Pete. How are you?
I'm well. I've been seeing your name in the feed a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why it always seems to pop up. I don't talk that much, but maybe that's a message. It's a message to me to get more engaged.
Yeah, man. Where are you from again?
I live on Long Island.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you friends with Tia and those guys?
Yes, Tia and I do some business together, and we're friends. And her husband Craig, I only met once, but he's an amazing guy, and I'm hoping to spend some more time with him this weekend.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Fernando.
Hey.
Good morning.
What's going on, my man? How are you? What's going on,
Very
Jay?
well.
What up, Michael? Thank you, Pete. I'm excited to see everyone here nice and early. Dana, thank you. Brandon, William, Billy, Tiffany, we gotta talk today, girl.
Yes, me and you. We got it down, man. We'll
Yes.
make it happen.
You and Michael, please. So just wanna say it here publicly. I wanna make sure you're insanely taken care of. What's going on, Nate? How's everyone feeling about yesterday and the power of acknowledgement, validation, source, loving people? What was present in the conversations? Hey, Shannon, what was present in the conversations we had yesterday on the morning huddle? Would anyone like to share on the powers of acknowledgement, validation, and source?
I'll share. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is Nate, by the way.
Hey, Nate. Yeah.
Hey, the thing that I got from it was that not only are you able to acknowledge other individuals that have opened the doors for yourself.
Why isn't my thing working?
But in return, we receive credibility from that. And not only that, for me personally, I receive satisfaction knowing that I could have helped someone else that has helped me.
I love that. And that is so very true. Nate, by the way, for everyone joining in, that was Nate sharing on the power of acknowledgement, validation, and source. And he created a very beautiful distinction, which is one, the feeling, how good it feels, to acknowledge and validate. And then the power of one of our indispensable elements, which is reciprocity. And Tia, I don't know if you're on the call, but thank you so much for all those videos you made yesterday. Absolutely amazing. Really touching on the power of the formula. And Nate, I appreciate you. And Kelly, what's going on? Joey, every time I think about you, I think of that golf swing, brother. I swear to God, I crack up. So,
Fernando.
I'm associating Joey with golf swings. That's how I have you. So funny to me.
Fernando, can I share?
Yeah, please, Pete, go ahead.
I wanted to just give a shout out because over the weekend, I've been really doing what Sean and you guys have been suggesting. I've been making videos every time I meet with a client and we're going over stuff. I've been trying to make a video and combining it with what you just said, the power of acknowledgement, because everybody that I'm dealing with, there's so many good things. And, we deal with our colleagues and our friends every day, and we fail to recognize what makes them all special. And so I've been doing a dual whammy of doing the videos and posting and acknowledging their unique special value in those videos in a great way.
Love that.
And it's been making me feel great, and it's been making the clients feel great, and it's been really a good tactic and practice.
Well, Pete, thank you. And Darcy and I had a beautiful distinction on the power of videos. And Darcy, I'll let you share that in the WhatsApp. But it is 8:30 on the dot, and I want to respect Mr. Callaghan's time. Mr. Callaghan, are you here with us? Well, as we wait for Mr. Callaghan, I just want to make sure we acknowledge the time. Darcy, would you like to share the distinctions we made yesterday on videos and content creation and what that mini distinction formula looks like?
I would love to. So one thing is for me to learn things. I feel like I can recite the formula, but putting into action, that is another thing. I'm working on it. And let's just say when you go into a meeting and you already know somebody, you think you don't need to use the formula. Well, that will blow up in your face because if you do not acknowledge and you do not validate and you do not state the outcome that you want from it, you will not control anything. Fernando taught me a lesson, which I will never forget. I didn't really follow my face, but I kind of tripped. And it's a little uncomfortable when you don't start out the way you should. And it will go extremely smooth if you actually do follow these principles. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hey, Darcy. Yeah. Hey, Fernando.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, happy Y Wednesday to everybody. And Darcy, thank you for that amazing share and appreciate you very much. And yes, you're spot on that following the 4 steps, 10 indispensable elements, and 4 energies in the process of creating frictionless ecosystem mergers is like the access point to everything. And Darcy, not forgetting that one of the things that can come up for all of us in our worthiness category, in feeling like we're enough, that we can forget, is conveying consistently and repetitively our unique identity. I just hung up the phone with Michael Smikin. And one of the things that we're dealing with is a client that we've done amazing, incredible things for. In fact, somebody who said that we've saved their life multiple times over time. There's been some struggles. And like it on an ego level, it's completely and totally ridiculous. Like it's so crazy that, and so potentially if we're in our ego, like if I'm in my ego, if Michael's in his ego, it's such a place that we can come from. Are you kidding me? With what we've done? Like how dare you not trust us? Like how dare you question us? Like, so it's not that energy, but it is the energy of, can we go back? Can we remember who we are to you, how we've gotten here with what you've trusted us with? And this is, by the way, this is like high level, complicated, unique identity dynamics. It's not the idea of you guys don't care about me. It's not the idea that you're not confident. It's like the highest level distinctions of agreeing to a very typical Callaghan law, disruptive, creative, quite avant-garde, if you will, plan to get with integrity to an outcome. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I have another lawyer that's saying, don't do that, like, which is a pattern that for many years we've experienced in the journey. Okay. And so, Darcy, remembering the 4 steps at all times, the 10 indispensable elements of 4 energies, as crazy as this may seem, we have to go and repeat, reinstall again and again and again our unique identity. Because for our unique identity being like, hey, we are the best attorneys on the planet, are we not? Well, of course you are. Okay, so, and tell me why. I don't want to do this. 2-year-old showing up. I don't want to do this. We've done things this way for a long time, haven't we? Can you honor our relationship and just tell me why? And so, not to belabor the point, but yes, we have to live in the four steps always, the 10 indispensable elements always, because whenever there's any breakdown or disruption, it's rooted in something being out of alignment or not being delivered in the 4 steps, 10 indispensable elements, 4 energies. That's the power of this. And that's why people think that I have superpowers. And I deliver that all the time. And in every situation, that's how I conduct myself. It's never being out of the formula. I'm with that with my kids, with my parents, and it's not contrived. It's integrity-based. It's just how humans relate, because everybody has fear of failure, fear of rejection. And when fear of failure and fear of rejection come in, communication breaks down. Influence breaks down. So this entire dynamic applies with our family, with our friends, and some of it gets really challenging, right? Family, friends, business, ecosystem, teams, sports, deciding where to have dinner, right? Egos come in, fear of failure, fear of rejection comes in all the time, like always, right? So for us, and this is why we're here, is to constantly be reminded of that. And one of the access points of mastery, and, again, speaking to Michael, this morning, just being in real time, I've been training Michael in this space for more than a decade. And it's easy to forget. And it's like, yeah, but literally, I said, is that 2-year-old talking? Is that 2-year-old Michael speaking? Is that 7-year-old Michael? Like, which Michael is that? Like, we shouldn't have to do that. Like, okay. And, like, we shouldn't have war on Earth, but we do. Like, so it just is. Like, this is just how it works. Does that make sense, Darcy?
Yes, and because for some reason I was thinking, like, in business, and it was a huge wake-up call yesterday. So
yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, so this is what we do here. So happy Why Wednesday to everybody. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Fernando. Fired up to be here and rocking. We set a new record with yesterday's call. We had 94 amazing people. We've only been doing this call for a few weeks, and there's so much acceleration. Yeah, so let's remember our power of one. And I want to continue with our dear friend, and Fernando, I want to ask some housekeeping questions at the end, but I want to continue with our dear friend, Mr. Adam Gugino, who has so much to share, because every day is like about a month right now. But he was also picking up with, I think, edifying, acknowledging, amazing human. And on Why Wednesday, everybody, we remember that our why is our fuel. It's our emotional, energetic fuel. And you're not done digging into your why until you've asked enough times that you're on the verge of tears, that you're feeling like that tingling on the back of your neck, like at least there. Like, that's what why is. Like, why? And why I want a car. Why? Well, I want to feel good about myself. Why? Because I, have a purpose in this world. Well, why? Like, why does that matter to you? Because I want to be an example of possibility, and I want to create in this world, and I want to build a legacy. And when, I see God, I want to have an answer for my talent. Like, whatever it is for you, the digging of deeper creates that fuel. And on Why Wednesday, we ground ourselves there. And I'm going to jump in before we get into anything else, because Adam Gugino is one of the biggest hearted, most loving people in the world. And I was talking to Rob Gill about that this morning as well, because Rob is like the original big-hearted dancer, loving, amazing person. And I'm like, Adam and Rob are like brothers from another mother with their love in their heart. So I'm going to ask Adam Gugino, because I know it's not money. Like, what is your why? And what's up, Adam? And then let's get into everything else. So what's your why, brother?
Hey, yeah, good morning. I'm going to tell you my why throughout this next story that I'm going to describe from the weekend again, and in really two points I'm going to
go.
Make. But yeah, yesterday was a huge day. That's not what we're here to talk about. It was my Jerry Maguire moment at Momentum Solar. Lots of tears. We'll save that story for another day. But I want to talk about Saturday when I showed up at the event to see Joseph McClendon, and super excited to see him. I'm going to go back to, again, the first day, and one of the first people I met, as I look to my right and we're starting to do our little jumping around and dancing, I see an individual, a female, in a wheelchair, trying to more or less get up out of her chair, which she did successfully. And I started to help her. And I have to be honest, my first reaction was sympathy, and my feeling of, wow, I feel bad, or I feel, terrible. Like, I wonder what happened. And as I was helping her up, she looked at me and smiled and said, I got this. And I said, okay, cool. So for the rest of the day, I kept an eye on her. When you do your little hugs, she was always somebody that I gave a quick hug to. And I was definitely intrigued in regard to her story, but, we were doing our thing for the day. At the end, when we went to go have dinner, Sean, you spoke to Tony Rodriguez. I guess you knew him from back home. He's kind of in the world. And when I was sitting down, I saw him come to the table, and I was excited. And sure enough, because he's friends with the individual by the name of Dana Lisa Gang, I was blessed enough to have her sit next to me. So, of course, quickly got into conversation, smiling, making some small talk, but then just started asking, some questions, and she quickly got into her story. Here it is. I can never do it justice, and she will eventually. I really do, hope she's on this call, and I think she might be. She was always, as a kid, an adventurer, decided to go into the Navy, and at the age of 19, she was sexually assaulted by a fellow sailor, thrown off a cliff, literally left for dead. She woke up in a hospital. She was paralyzed from the neck down. The doctors gave her no hope for recovery. This beautiful soul was making me laugh, making me smile, and telling me this story. And I said, how, what was it that got you through this? And she said one of the things was self-help, self-development. And she found William Dyer. For those of you that don't know, he's written self-improvement books, motivational speaker, best-selling author. And she just fell in love, started reading all of his books. She was blessed enough to have met him in person, to the point where she ended up writing a book. And she told me about it. The book he wrote the foreword to the book. The book is called Falling Up. We connected. The first thing, the next day in the morning, Sean, she came up to me and she said, hey, Adam, I brought you something. And I said, what is it? And she brought me one of her books, and she signed it as well. I can't tell you, I went to this event looking forward to meeting Joseph McClendon and wanting to sit in the front to shake his hand. And I literally met my hero. And not only did I call her a hero, but when I read the foreword, William Dyer called her his hero. These are the types of people, when you ask me again about my why, this is why. Meeting people like this, being able to share their story, and to know that when you are out there speaking in regards to other people's stories, that you inspire others to go ahead and do great things. The next day, we had to break boards. I was concerned. I was thinking, oh my God, I hope, I don't know if she's going to try to do this. Sure enough, she got right up there. And after, I don't know how many tries, but she ended up breaking through beyond persistence, punched right through one of the boards, right through limiting beliefs. That video is online. I want everybody to hear her story. I'm going to share it on my Facebook.
Hey, Adam. Adam.
Yeah.
So, and everybody, I didn't know that. So I was not there for day 2. And that's a fun story that I will share in another day or two on the huddle, as to the absolute adventure and breakthroughs that I had as a result of Saturday and what I was up to. But I can't believe that Dana was able to break through, because when we shook hands, and I again, it's interesting because I was sort of experiencing. I did some flying and traveling on my own on Saturday night into Sunday, and I was, I'm legally blind, and as I was getting support, there was sympathy and confusion and perceptions of me being weak and incapable, and people being rude and directing me, treating me like I was a dog. It was all kinds of incredibly interesting things. And I will shamefully admit that that's probably how I showed up for Dana. So thank you for this access, number one, because I think, I briefly, I didn't see her much because of my vision, but when I encountered her, I almost connected on hey, we both have a challenge level, which is sort of gross and weird. And it was awkward and inconsistent with my normal easy flow of connecting with people. So it was a weaker moment, and it was just crazy busy. And, I'll admit that I'm still learning how to adapt to a lot of people want to talk to me and things happening. So it was suboptimal. So I'm so proud of you and your love for people, which is indispensable element number one of integrity-based human influence. Indispensable number one is love all people, and you love all people. And that is so clear. But second, I cannot imagine physically how she broke the board. Because when we shook hands, we encountered each other, like there's no way imaginable that I can perceive how that happens. So that is like, you didn't share that part with me. I'm so proud of her, and that is truly remarkable. So it'd be hard for me to see the video, you know, I'm gonna have somebody describe it to me. But please check out that video. That's incredible. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah. And Sean, please just let me, before I'm so grateful for you to speak on that, but I definitely want to just a couple more things for her. You asked about my why. I want to throw this out there if she's on this call, bringing me to tears to think about it. But we both have a very similar why.
So you know, Adam.
Yes. Oh, great. We have a similar why. We both absolutely love dogs, and we made a commitment to each other that we are going to have a dog sanctuary together. So if you're out there, you are out there, Dana, I look forward to us accomplishing that. And I really wanted to just say, Sean, tying it back to Monday's call, when you talked about people like Oprah Winfrey and individuals that are at that 9.99999 of influence, and you said with that 0.001, it could exponentially grow. Well, that's what this is all about, because guess what? If you sat Oprah in a room with Dana for an hour, I promise you, I guarantee you, it would raise Oprah Winfrey's ability to love and influence because of the power of Dana. She is such an incredible human being that I just cannot wait to continue this process with her. And on top of that, when we talk about, how is this business related? You know, I'm sure people are out there asking that, and I'll tell you exactly how. Because what she does when you're around her, there's one thing that she will definitely help you grow, and she will help you grow your heart. And if you lead with your heart like I do, it will absolutely help you grow in every area of your life. She even, when I talked to her yesterday, Dana even said to me, she's like, yeah, I understand how this works, but everything that I'm doing is helping people. I said, Dana, you need to share your story. You need to really come out of your shell, because the more people you talk to, the more people you're going to be able to influence and help. And I just look forward to having her at our event, Sean. And if you were lucky or blessed enough to meet her, man, I promise you, just a hello will inspire you. One more thing. The night before we left, she's telling me stories of how she lives in Colorado, and for fun, she rides whitewater rapids. And 2 times she had some trouble, and she got rescued one time, and she went back and she continues to do it. The person that rescued her doesn't ride whitewater rapids anymore, but she does. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, dude, and listen, and so here's what, Adam, thank you so much, brother, and stay live with me. So folks, as we bring it to a close in the next 3 minutes, here's the scoop. For all of us, we're in our heart and we're loving people, it exponentially increases. Somebody's got a little bit of background. Somebody's unmuted. Just mute yourself. There's a little rustling and somebody's speaking. You may think you're muted. You're not. If you can mute, thank you. So thank you so much. So when we're in our love and our heart with people, there is such a magnetism of influence that's strong when it's genuine. And we all know the difference in a microsecond. So we can't execute at the highest levels of mastery in our influence unless we honor indispensable element number 1, which is to love all people. Boundaries are a different conversation. We're going to have our huddle calls and our trainings on boundaries, not today. So I'm not saying to let people treat you poorly. Like, that's not what love is, right? But loving everyone and recognizing people are innocent souls engaged either in active love or a cry for help. So everything's either active love or cry for help. Like, that's the space of people. And we got to deal with cries for help. Like, I put people in prison. I've taken people that stole things and made them pay for it. Like, I know how to bring pain and leverage. You can too, at the highest levels. Like, that's a part of life. It's defending, protecting, making things go right. That's not the opposite of love. Like, and we can love people all the while by bringing justice and making things happen correctly, not in a legal sense only, in a business sense, an ethics sense, in a morality sense, in a cause-driven sense. But it's when we lose love for people and it becomes like the political spectrum. Oh, this one's evil, that one's evil, this is hard. Like, and we start telling our stories of judgment of people's souls. Like, I disagree with a lot of things that go on, but I genuinely believe that there's a difference between folks that are being honest about their intentions. Like, hey, like, I think communism is good. I don't think that, but people might say that. I don't think that at all. I think capitalism is the way. But if somebody says that and they genuinely believe it, I'm not going to like attempt to judge and blame and vilify. I just think they're confused, right? Like there's a difference between people thinking people are confused and judging, blaming, and attacking. And there's a difference, once again, though, between people that are saying they believe in communism is good because they really want to essentially enslave people and gain control. Like that's a whole different thing. But even with those people, they're still innocent souls that are like 2-year-olds that are trying to control things that just need to be stopped, right? Something needs to be done, but it's different from saying that they don't have an innocent soul and being in love with people. What Adam is sharing and the relevance of Dana is like there's just tremendous love there. But I want to drop this like a nuclear bomb and be disruptive. Having all the love in the world is a beautiful thing, but it will do very little in business if there's not the other 9 indispensable elements present, the 4 steps and the 4 energies. I know a lot of loving people that clean bathrooms. I know a lot of amazing loving people that died with their message inside of them sleeping in a trailer. A mentor of mine died in a trailer in the inner city because he was a beautiful, incredible, unbelievable soul, but there were some elements missing, and the world needed even more of his voice. And so the drop the mic moment for today's Why Wednesday is, we're not here to just tell inspirational stories. That's garbage. That's not what Adam was doing. Adam was giving an access, an incredible one, to one of the 10 indispensable elements. And I'll challenge it this way. Dana could write a book. Dana could be incredible. But Dana could also come and go rapidly without realizing and stepping into, as Adam said, her greatest superpowers. Understanding frictionless ecosystem merger, the 4 steps, the 10 indispensable elements, the 4 energies. So we're acknowledging and validating all of us and each other in every way imaginable. And we're also challenging each other on these calls to rise in our level of mastery over the formula. Because that's what's going to have the most massive impact on people that you can have, that I can have, that we can have, that Adam can have, that Dana can have, that Darcy can have, that everybody can have. So let that sit. And the question for you is, where is your level of mastery today on your Why Wednesday and your love for people, as well as the formula? It's always the formula. And engaging in your power of one. 60 seconds to wrap up. Fernando, any housekeeping items, things you want to share?
Yes. So just one, Adam, thank you for your story. Dana has been in the messages. You had her in tears today. I'm sure as you've had many of us in tears throughout your sharing your story. And I wanted you to know that she was present the entire time, and for what you said, Sean, as well. Tonight, we have our training at 6 o'clock Eastern, so please be there. Just remember the power of one. And on Monday, I want to switch to Ecosystem Merging Monday, and let's begin to play the game of merging ecosystems with our amazing Unblinded Sales Mastery in January. So that's what I got present to now, Mr. Callaghy. Thank you for everyone and your new excitement in the WhatsApp group. And let's keep that going and bring that energy tonight at 6 o'clock for our training.
Yeah, and tonight's training, I want to look at where is your level 5 listening, and have literal assets that are going to help you read people's minds, not metaphysically, but practically. Like, people are going to think you can read their minds. And we're going to sharpen your listening at a level that is beyond your comprehension, that led to 2 top international jury verdicts, has led to all of the access points I've had, and that acceleration is present. And we're going to talk about what frictionless looks like in terms of ecosystem mergers, and have 2 amazing intersections. So with that said, we're going to take some wins tomorrow. So tomorrow, please be ready with your wins. Email your wins, put them in the WhatsApp group, share them with Fernando, share them with Tiffany. Please get them out there. And tomorrow, share them with Adam as well. We're going to go through those wins and what's happening. I am immensely grateful. Power of one. Who are you going to commit to having here tomorrow? So we shatter the record and get to 200 people on this call by Friday. That's an outcome in my heart. Hopefully it's in your heart. If we all bring one, we're 200 people on Friday. Continuing this movement, that again, is about people making more money in less time with more magic. More money, less time, more magic. Mastering the formula to create a higher quality and quantity of sales meetings for you with less investment of time, money, and energy. Hey, I'm Sean. It's Why Wednesday. Go have an amazing day. See you at 6. Bye.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
have a
That was
blessed
great.
day. See you in the WhatsApp. Bye-bye.
This is what it looks like. Thanks, everybody. Love you all.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all. Thank you.
Great call. Thank you.
Hey, Raj.
Hey, brother.